the Finnish former soldier toward the end of World War II who has nothing but bloody revenge for his enemies is back in Sisu, Road to Revenge, aka Sisu 2. This was a very violent film, as was the original. I really enjoyed the original Sisu. It's just, if you want to watch Sisu from 2022, I should say, not from 1922. I think vaguely based, I guess, on an actual character. Was about a guy who it was a revenge movie. He was trying to get from point A to point B, and he was just cutting through a lot of Nazis, and in the most cartoonishly violent ways possible. Not based on a graphic novel. And watching Sisu Road to Revenge, aka Sisu 2, I was thinking, I'm like, wow, some of this is so over the top. Was this based on a comic or a graphic novel? Because a lot of times you think, well, if based on a comic, that's got to be a superhero movie. No, there's a lot of graphic novels that really don't have anything to do with superheroes, that are just a story told in that motif, that form. But no, this wasn't. But at times, this was insane. So Sisu, Road to Revenge, finds our hero continuing his journey, and the film starts saying, World War II has just ended. After the end of World War II, Russia expanded its border and claimed some of Finland for itself, and it either laid waste to the people who didn't leave, or or threw them in the gulags, or it forced a lot of Finns to march to what is now the Finnish border and set up shop. So basically, this film finds our hero going back to, and Sisu isn't his name. It's a Finnish, I believe, word for basically bloodthirsty revenge, as they tell us at the front of the film. In addition to that little history lesson, this film finds our hero traveling back home. He's got a big flatbed truck, big beefy flatbed truck. He goes back to his home. His family has been killed by the evil Soviets, and he basically single-handedly dismantles the cabin he lives in. He numbers all the beams, he loads them all up on a truck, and he's just going to head across the border. That's all he wants to do. His work is done, he thinks. He's gathering up the remnants of his former life. He's going to go to where he can live in peace, and that's that. All the guy wants to do is get across the border into Finland and build his cabin and live out his years quietly. But the Soviet government or military says Stephen Lang, who you may know from many things, is the bad guy in this. Former Soviet general, commander, what have you, who has been thrown in the gulag in Siberia. He is pulled out. I'm not going to tell you the whole story. I'm just giving you the setup, which is far quicker on film, I think, than I have told you up to this point. Stephen Lang is pulled out of the gulag, bloodied, beaten, frozen, and told, this guy, let's call him Sisu for the purposes of talking here, this Sisu guy laid waste to all these people. He caused a great embarrassment to the Axis forces, and it's all your fault because you and your men killed his family with glee. You need to go and clean up your mess. That is a line in the film. So Stephen Lang goes out with soldiers to basically say, we're going to take care of this old man who apparently got lucky and killed a bunch of people. Well, he keeps getting lucky for the rest of the movie, and he kills a lot of people. I'm not going to tell you how, but it's very gory, it's very bloody, very creative, and it made me the first major conflict between Lang and his men and Sisu. I was laughing. I was literally doubled over in my seat, cackling, laughing out loud because it was so insane and gruesome and creative. So that's what we get. We get about, not a very long movie. This was like 89 minutes, and that's taking into account several minutes of trailers, and that's okay. Everything doesn't need to be 2.5 hours. It's okay for a film to just tell its story, be lean, be mean, and move on, and that's what this film does. So it is Sisu just trying to keep all of his beams together on his truck and drive from point A to point B, and he's basically like somebody swatting flies. Like he doesn't do really a ton of offensive work. It's mostly just this annoyance again. Now will you let me go? And it's planes, trains, and automobiles. Literally planes, trains, and automobiles. I just realized in this film, there is a long sequence on a train that's very wild and creative. There are sequences with airplanes, and there is a lot of automotive mayhem in this film. So it is grim, it is brutal. Stephen Lang occasionally, unfortunately, drops the MF bomb, and I'm just like, yes, we're not going to watch a film that's subtitled in Russian or Finnish or whatever for the whole film, because this is an international film. There is some subtitled dialogue here and there, but for the most part is in English. Every film wants to, be a big international splash and not just European. So or a lot of films do. And Stephen Lang talks, his dialogue at times feels like it was written to be in a cop movie right now. Like, he drops a lot of F-bombs, and he said the MF thing. I'm just like, I'm not sure a Russian in 1946 would have been using, clearly not that word because it's translated in English, but that kind of terminology. It just rang really false to me. So that I only have like two quibbles. One is that, and the other is a scene with Sisu and a tank. And that's all I'm going to say. But it was really ridiculous. Now, the first film had that too, and probably if you tried to apply reality to most of what goes on in this film, people would die a lot faster, and it would be a one film series and a very short one at that. But there was a sequence in the original with an airplane that I thought was just way over the top and kind of stupid, and there's a moment in this film with a tank that's kind of stupid, and a moment toward the end of the film that's kind of stupid. But other than that, if you want escapism and seeing just a hero lay waste to bad guys, Sisu Road to Revenge is more than going to accomplish that for you. It is, I'm just sort of glancing at my notes, and I think I've covered it all. If you don't mind a film that just stretches the possibilities of physics, chance, and human endurance, Sisu Road to Revenge is a lot of fun. Probably not in theaters much longer as I record this, and if you're watching this more than a week after I record this, look for it on home video. Sisu Road to Revenge.